Time to look in the trenches. This is your 2023 Warchant.com offseason snapshot for Florida State football. Today's focus, the offensive line. Stay tuned to the end of this video for my best guess as to the starting five for FSU against LSU. This is Tom Lang with Warchant.com. Time to get going. If we had one word to describe the Seminoles in 2023 on the offensive line, it'd be simple: loaded. Some Seminole teams in the last 10 years have been more talented at the starting level, but no offensive line, not even the 2013 national championship team, has been as deep as FSU is in 2023. At tackle, Florida State has several quality options, starting with Robert Scott. A multi-year starter on the blind side, Scott missed all of spring camp to recover from an undisclosed injury, but is expected to be a full go for fall camp. His status as a starter probably qualifies as an until further notice designation, but that's not to say that FSU doesn't have other candidates at tackle to look at in fall camp. Bless Harris, a 2022 transfer from Lamar, was in line to be FSU starting right tackle last season before being injured in the Seminole season opener against Duquesne. Harris was a full go throughout spring and impressed at both tackle positions. Bless Harris appears to be a lot stronger this year, which is good and notable for FSU because last season he was more about leverage and technique than he was about brute strength. If there were betting odds on the starting tackles for LSU, Bless Harris would be the second favorite behind Robert Scott as of today. From there, one of FSU's three offseason transfers, that's UTEP's Jeremiah Byers, could work out as either a tackle or a guard, depending on how things shake up in the preseason in the fall. Byers looks the part of a starter either way. He's got tremendous size at 6'4", 329 pounds, and he's also got remarkable athleticism at that size. Some guys carried 329 and look terribly out of shape, but some guys carry it and they look like an athlete. The latter is Jeremiah Byers. Redshirt freshman Julian Armello will also be in the mix at tackle. Armello is a prime example of hard work paying off in the weight room. Though he was naturally big and strong as a true freshman in 2022, Armello now looks the part of an upper-level Power 5 lineman. Florida State lists the Miami native at 6'6", 328 pounds, and I don't doubt those numbers after seeing him in spring. But perhaps the best part of Armello's presence on the field is that he's an enforcer. Defensive linemen like to talk more trash than the offensive line by trade, but step to Armello for too long at your own peril. If you want to see some mean from the Noles up front in the coming seasons, then Julian Armello is going to be your type of player. Another player worth noting for the future, and perhaps the near future, is true freshman Lucas Simmons. This is your prototypical tackle frame. Simmons stands at 6'8", 309 pounds, and has been a sponge on the field. When position coach and offensive coordinator Alex Atkins teaches, Lucas Simmons is right there to take it all in. And after acclimating to college football at camp's outset, Simmons started to come on and find his footing towards the end of camp. The true freshman is already a sturdy enough player in his lower half to play big boy football, but what's left to get better on is Simmons' technique and his strength in the upper body. When it all clicks for Simmons, it will be very, very tough to keep him off the field. We'll see how soon that is. Two other names to keep an eye on at tackle to fill out the two deep are 2022 signees Daughtry Richardson and Jalen Early. Richardson definitely profiles as a tackle, and he's got a mean streak to him, while Early could theoretically play either inside or outside. We'll see how fall camp plays out. Before we get to the next wave of players, if you enjoy this kind of content, please do us a favor and hit the thumbs up at the bottom of this video and subscribe to Warchant TV. It's absolutely free, and every click you make helps us find more Noles who are looking for the best FSU content in the business, and that's what we provide at Warchant TV. At guard, FSU has a lot of options as well. That's our term, loaded. We noted Jeremiah Byers' athleticism in the tackle discussion just a moment ago, but that skill set could be put to really good use at guard. We know that Atkins and head coach Mike Norvell love to get those interior guys out in space and get downhill. Jeremiah Byers is an excellent candidate to fit that profile of what the offense looks to do. Florida State also got excellent news towards the end of spring camp when Dimitri Emmanuel was granted a waiver to play in 2023. Big Meech, as he's known, was an anchor for Florida State at 2022 at right guard, and before we get into fall camp, he has to be one of the favorites to be a starter and hold on to that position. Redshirt junior Darius Washington, who is a Swiss Army knife kind of a guy on the offensive line, could be a candidate at guard, at tackle, or at an emergency center for that matter. Washington stands at 6'4", 300 pounds, and is in the athletic profile that FSU really likes in the offensive line. The two other transfers from this offseason, Colorado's Casey Roddick and Auburn's Keandre Jones, should also be in the mix. Roddick stands at a sturdy 6'4", 313 pounds, and moves quite well. He gets low to the ground, drives off the ball like a sixth-year player should, and he brings 30 starts of experience at Tallahassee Again, Roddick could profile at guard or at center this fall. Keandre Jones is one of the more cerebral and large guys in this group, as the redshirt junior from LaGrange, Georgia, stands at 6'3" and a monstrous 332 pounds. Of the three transfers, Keandre Jones is probably the least mobile, but that doesn't mean he can't work out at FSU. If the Noles want to reset the line of scrimmage and uproot a defensive line in a short area, Keandre Jones is a really good candidate that you can start with. Other competitors at guard entering fall camp: redshirt sophomore Bryson Estes, redshirt junior Thomas Schrader, and redshirt freshmen Kania Charlton and Kayshawn Sapp. Finally, at center, FSU has a stalwart in Maurice Smith. Smith's status for the marquee game against LSU in 2022 was very much in question, but the Miami native battled beyond an injury, and then he never looked back the rest of the season. He kind of was a low-key MVP for Florida State. As of this offseason, Maurice Smith is far and away FSU's best option at center. Period. The number one concern for Florida State's offensive line is simple, and it's who is the next best player behind Maurice Smith. In short, outside of walk-on David Stickle, nobody has shown the ability to consistently snap the football. If Casey Roddick gets much better in that regard this offseason, he actually could supplant Maurice Smith as a starting center in 2023, but if not, then Maurice has the technique, the smarts, and the details to be written in ink as a starter in Orlando in September on that Sunday night of Labor Day weekend. So you probably follow the clues to get most of these answers, but who is going to be the starting five when the Noles take on LSU in Week 1? These are my own personal guesses, not the staff at Warchant.com, just me. So if injury luck holds, here is where they're going to line up in my eyes. At left tackle, Robert Scott. At left guard, Jeremiah Byers. At center, Maurice Smith. At right guard, Dimitri Emmanuel. And at right tackle, Bless Harris. Agree? Disagree? Let us know in the comments below. Who do you think is going to start for FSU for that all-important opener against the LSU Tigers? And be sure to like this video on the way out. Subscribe to our channel at Warchant TV for absolutely free. The latest FSU news will then appear on your home screen on YouTube. Saves you clicks down the line if you click subscribe today. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more on Warchant TV. We've got the best coverage in the business. Until next time, this is Tom Lang saying go Noles, and we will talk to you soon on Warchant TV.